Welcome back to Nifty Garage. Today we're going to be showing you guys how to remove a VQ35HR. If you haven't seen our other videos, we also show you guys how to remove a VQ35DE as well as a VQ37VHR. We'll leave the link in the description to those videos. Let's get into it. We're going to show you guys how to drop it through the bottom, but I will also explain how you're going to be pulling this motor out of the top if you don't have a lift at home, and it will be easier for you guys. The only reason I'm doing it this way is because I drop it with the subframe. So let's go ahead and get into the video and show you guys how to remove your VQ35HR. So you guys might be wondering what this is here. This is an AC machine. Before you do anything, we're going to start by removing the refrigerant from the vehicle. Unfortunately, if you guys do not have an AC machine at home, you're going to have to go to a shop or a certified refrigerant technician to get your refrigerant removed from the vehicle. All right, step one, we're going to go ahead and remove our brake fluid cover to get to our low pressure AC line. We're going to remove our caps, set up our AC machine, and we're going to start draining our AC while we disconnect our battery and send our car up so that we can start draining the coolant and get everything prepped to start removing our motor. All right, next step, we're going to be removing our battery tray as well as our cowl cover on the passenger side because we're going to need to get to that later. All right, so before we remove our positive terminal, I'm just going to flip our power wires out of the way. Move those out, take our terminal off. And then I always like to throw a rag or something in here so it can't possibly get power. So now we're going to be removing our lower engine cover so that we can get our coolant drained. So the way I drain the coolant while the car's in the air, I won't waste my time with this bleeder because it takes too long and I kind of want to drain the coolant as fast as possible to pull this motor as quick as possible. So as long as you leave your radiator cap on tight at the top, just pull this lower hose off. It won't make too big of a mess. Just stick your drain as high up to the hose as you can, and then slowly let the car down as you kick your cart away and let the coolant drain into your bin. Once the coolant's all the way drained, you can remove your lower and upper hose. All right, so our AC is drained. I'm gonna go ahead and remove our hoses. And then we're gonna start by getting things out of our way. So the first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and take our strut brace off, our engine cover off, and then we're gonna remove our intakes from the car so that we can get to everything we need to get to. Just a little tip, these clips like to break a lot because it's part of the engine harness, they get hot. Instead of coming in here with your clip remover and breaking this clip, just get a pair of needle nose and just give it a little pinch as you pull out, and you save these clips 10 out of 10 times. As well as if you guys are removing this engine out of the top because you don't have a lift, now will be the time that you will remove your hood. You have two 12mm nuts on both hood hinges, so that's 4 total. Go ahead and grab a buddy, zip those out, remove your hood, place it to the side. You're going to need the room to pull this motor out. When you guys are pulling your hoses, be sure not to grab it with like vice grips or something crazy because you're going to puncture this hose. Just get a good grip on it and twist and break it free. It's not the worst thing in the world to replace, but I mean, just save yourself some money and some time not having to go to the auto parts store and get a new boot because you got a pinhole because you pinched it. Now we have everything removed from our core support. Now we're going to move on to both sides of the car. So there's only a few things that need to get removed. You have 2 grounds here. So we're going to take them off from the chassis side and flip it over onto our engine. We have our high pressure and our low pressure AC lines that we're going to remove and put onto the engine or the car side, sorry. In the back of the motor, we have 1 vacuum line. That is from our brake booster. We'll go ahead and flip that onto the car side as well. And that is everything in this corner that needs to get removed. Onto the driver's side, we're gonna head, this is our power wire for our alternator and our battery, or alternator and our starter. We're gonna remove this clip lay this over on that side. Sometimes, yep, you have a ground right here. It is a push and remove pin like this. We'll just let that stay on the engine. We have our main harness that I will show you guys how to remove from the car. That will need to get removed, as well as our evap hose. This one right here, we're gonna go ahead and remove and lay onto the car side. And our fuel line, 210 mils, will pop our dampener off and let that stay on the car side as well. And that is everything that needs to come off until we get to our heater core lines, which we'll get to that point a little bit later. All right, next step, we're gonna be removing our power steering lines from the motor side. So we do have one line here. This is our low pressure hose that feeds the pump. So we're gonna pull that off. I have the drain pan underneath the car. We're gonna drain right into it. And then as well as this line, this is gonna get removed. This one's on a hard line. It's a little hard to remove. We'll leave the link to the description to these pliers here. They come in clutch when it comes to power steering lines. We'll go ahead and knock this out and then show you guys how to remove the engine harness from the ECU. Everything I remove, I like to cap, just so I'm not making a mess. So the engine harness, we are not going to be removing everything off the engine and throwing it to the side. We're going to be removing from the ECU and laying the harness over the engine so that we can put the harness on the new engine while it's already out. So we have one clip over here because on an HR, we have 2 extra plugs. These are often pretty stubborn. All right, remove those 2 plugs. So this sub harness, I guess you can call it, is removed. Now we'll take our pick and we have tabs here that hold our harness against the firewall. Now we can go into the car and I'll show you how to remove, or what plugs you need to remove to take your harness off the ECU. All right, so it's gonna be a little hard to follow because it's dark. Just bear with us. It's only a few plugs. So usually there's a cover panel here. The first plug closest to you gets removed to get the other plugs out, but we're going to put that to the side because that's not going to be coming out. That's not part of the engine harness. But the 2 plugs after are 1 and 2. All right, so if you come under here, there's this white plug. This white plug right here is part of the engine harness, so we'll go ahead and remove that one as well. Underneath this kick panel that just pops up and comes off, and this panel here, we have 1 extra plug that runs to here. We'll just remove that one. That is all the plugs we need to remove to get our engine harness out. So now we'll go up to the top. All right, so now we're gonna work our way around this boot with our clip remover and pop this boot off of the firewall. And then we're gonna fish this harness out. And then we have a push tab here. And we'll lay our harness over our engine. And now that our engine harness is out, that is everything up top that we need to remove besides the heater core lines to remove this engine. Now we're gonna go underneath the car and go over everything we need to remove to get this engine all the way out. All right, now that we're under the car, we're gonna remove our front K-frame. We're gonna remove our W brace, our rear sway bar, so that we can drop our exhaust from the Y pipe back and allow this trans to hang. There's a couple more things that need to get done. We'll talk about that in a second, but first let's get those things done so we can move on. What's nice is when you remove the rears first, they actually hold on these tabs right here so that when you remove the front, it doesn't swing down. So I would recommend popping your 12s off first and then moving up front to your 14s. So what we got left is we're going to remove our harness from the bottom side of our trans, just because it's a little easier while we're already underneath of it. We'll tuck it up here, we'll move our cap bracket, and then we'll drop our drive shaft out, and then we'll move up to the top and we'll take our shifter assembly apart so that we can drop this trans and not deal with any issues. All right, at this point, your drive line's removed and your mount and brace are still in. We're gonna plug it. As soon as we drop that, we're gonna start leaking trans fluid. If you don't have a plug like that, wrap it up in a glove so that you're not leaking all over the place. Just remove this little brace, you're gonna need the room. All right, so now we're gonna remove our clutch line, which is gonna be a 10 mil. All right, so with our clutch line removed, it's gonna leak forever. So if you can, try to tape it up into like an empty bottle or something so that it's just draining into the bottle. All right, next, what we need to do is remove our shift knob and our shifter assembly. Not the whole thing, let me show you what you're gonna remove. All right, so what we're gonna remove first is our shift knob. We'll take that off and then we can just pop this trim out. Remove this plug so we can hang it off to the side. Make sure there's no tension on this ribbon. And then we'll remove our plate with our rubber boot. That will give us enough room to drop our trans out and not hit anything. So now we're gonna go underneath and we'll drop our trans mount. All right, so if you guys are removing it from the top, this is about where we're done with this video. So you have your motor mounts at the bottom. You have two 17s or 17 mil nuts on each side. You're gonna pop those off. And then this steering line, this hard line, if you can come under here and look at this, it sits very close to the trans. Before you drop your mount, go ahead and pop that hard line off because it's gonna give you about this much extra room to carry the motor and trans up out. Don't forget, you still have your heater core lines. Remove your clamps, pull them off, and you could take this motor straight out the top right now. We're removing it from the bottom, so if you do have a lift at home, I'm gonna show you everything you're gonna remove to drop the subframe complete with the motor and trans still adapted. Let's move on. Freeing up the harness. Tuck that over with the other harness. So now we're gonna take our front wheels off and take a look at our suspension and try to find the most minimal amount of suspension parts we have to take off so that we can drop everything together and throw everything back on after we swapped our motor out. All right, so now we're taking suspension off to drop the motor out of the bottom. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna drop our sway bar with our end links. We're gonna pull that completely off. We're gonna disconnect our shock, which this is on airbags. If you're on shocks, it's the same thing. Then we are going to be removing our lower control arm from the subframe on both sides, and we're going to let this arm down and move it over, as well as drop our outer tie rods from our knuckle, and we're basically just going to let the knuckle and the shock hang so that only the subframe is coming down and nothing else is connected to the subframe. All right, when you're removing outer tie rods, I'm sure this is common sense for a lot of people. Do not smack the tie rod. Don't smack the top of the threads because you're just gonna mushroom it. You won't be able to get your nut back on. The proper way to remove tie rods is to smack directly on the knuckle, and you're literally hitting right here and it will shock the actual tie rod out of the knuckle. Don't ever hit the threads. You're gonna mushroom it, you will not get it out. All right, last thing we need to do is remove our steering linkage. You got a 12mm bolt. They're often pretty stubborn. I would spray it with PB Blaster. Let that soak for a second. It's time to drop our motor. We finally made it to the end. So what I do is I take my cart, my rolling cart, and mine's a little bowed out, so I kind of like to put some 2x4s here just to sit against the subframe. We got 2 bolts on each side of the subframe. There's literally 4 bolts holding this motor in right now. So we're gonna let this sit on the cart to where it's not gonna drop out of the car. We're gonna bust our 419s out, and then I'm gonna go up with the lift a little bit just to free the motor from the heater core lines at the back so that I can access them very easily and pull them off. So this just fell out of our lower control arm. These were extremely bad. These are supposed to sit right here. This will be a great time, now that the motor's out and all our suspension is free, to start changing out arms that we need to change out. I'm assuming the other side looks exactly like this. So both lower control arms will need to be replaced. Keep an eye out for arms that are bad, especially now that you got all this free room. Start changing stuff out that needs to get changed out. It's a great time to get your heater core lines out because you're not having to deal with the manifold being in the way. It's just the way I like to do it. You can struggle if you want to. This is what I found is easiest. Like I said before, don't use vice grips or channel locks or something to get these lines out. You're just going to damage them and have to go replace them. All right, everything is disconnected, separated. From now, you can just send your lift up. Your engine should stay on the cart. Always, always, always double, triple check that you have everything removed. The last thing you want to do is send this car up and rip a hose in half. I've already triple checked everything. We're good to go. I'm going to send this car into the air. Okie dokie. This is how you properly remove your VQ35HR. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and we'll get to you as soon as possible. If you want to check out our other videos, if you have a DE car or a VHR car, we'll leave the link to that also in the description. And if you guys also want to see VR30 content, we're going to be creating a lot of that soon. So anything from turbos to VR30 removal to VR30 swaps, we're going to be filming a lot of that for Nifty Garage here soon. So stay tuned. Give us a like, share our videos, and we'll catch you guys next time.